I think what we're seeing at the moment in evangelicalism is that the Trinity is not really being spoken of by evangelicals, not much. And I think partly because of a fear to do so, a fear that they're not going to say quite the right thing. And that means that God is spoken of abstractly, which is disastrous, because who God is the most important thing in the gospel. God is the reward of the gospel. God is the beauty behind the gospel. And people will never be won to the gospel if they're not won to God. And so we need to be very clear about who God is as we speak. So we need to be clear to our culture who God is as we speak. We need to show how the triune God is the only God who's outgoingly glorious, the only God who's eternally loving, a Father eternally loving his Son. No other God is like that. Of no other God can you say, this God is love. And we need to be clear on the Trinity, because who God is shapes what sort of salvation he'll offer. And so the very nature of the gospel we're sharing is going to be shaped and affected by what God we talk about. So because we believe in a God who is a Father, loving his Son as he pours out his Spirit on him, that means that the shape of salvation in our gospel is not simply that we get something called heaven, something called grace, something called salvation or righteousness. What we get is to know him. A God who's eternally relational, we're brought to know him. And more specifically, the Father calls us by his Spirit to know himself in the Son. We're called to be children of God. No other God offers that kind of relationship with himself. And so we need to be clear on who God is on the Trinity for the sake of having robust foundations for our gospel as we witness to the world and as we actually shape and talk about the gospel at all.